My name is Monika Manocha Wadhwa, and I did my Ph.D. from All India Institute of Medical Sciences. I did my postdoctorate from Harvard Medical School, Beth, Israel, and I'm an educator now at Lynn English High School. I have taught LEXINGTON and Newton schools, and I see myself as an educator and a community servant. The women in India is feeling empowered because of the support system they have around them. They are finding jobs easily. There are a lot of help around them now. The relationships are improving, and that is helping them to find peace in their jobs and at workplace too. But in US, I'm finding that the women are feeling emotionally and socially drained because the connections are still not there. They have very few friends around them, and they need support systems at home because there's no maids, and they're working day and night at their workplace and also coming back and supporting their family, their kids, their in-laws. So we need to empower women by giving them an opportunity to meet, to give them an opportunity to understand that self-care is also as important as caring for others. I try to build community connections through my background in research. I bring science in the lab atmosphere in my classroom, and I try to implement evidence-based learning by talking to students through observations. I am also a community servant where I try to make connections through Vision 8, where I conduct workshops. I'm a co-chair for the Council of Ambassadors in Vision 8. And in VFS, I work as a vice president for intergenerational connections, where I try to connect seniors with the youth. So the meaning of happiness for me is giving. I always say that as a human, when you are living, the joy and happiness is in giving. When you are a community servant, you are finding joy only when you see someone else is growing, someone else is smiling. Your one smile can light up the whole room.
Welcome to India and England News. Our guest today is Monika Manocha Wadhwa. She is going to be honored as one of the outstanding women of 2026. Monika, welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much for...
This is the first time we are chatting today on the camera.
Yes, and I'm enjoying this.
So one of the reasons you were selected into the outstanding category was your educational background, your dedication to education, community building, and all other linking the community together, so many things which you do.
Yes.
So let's start how your PhD from All India Institute of Medical Sciences and then postdoc here has enabled you, or how it has contributed to what you do today.
The main part that I learned from my PhD, my postdoc, is how to discipline my mind, how to use these tools of making a protocol for everything, and then putting together the things today in a community setting where I am planning events, I'm organizing. The major part of education system is that you have to go in the classroom and you have to be prepared. So I am able to do all this because of our observations and the discipline we have during our PhD.
So currently you are working as an educator, teacher, right? So tell us about where are you doing and what you are doing.
So I am teaching in Lynn English High School. And I teach marine science, I teach AP Bio, and I've taught ecology also. And I believe that whenever I have taught these subjects, I have connected myself through my research background. I do a lot of experiments. I try to plan, like there is always evidence-based teaching, and I initiate all the experiments in the labs, and that helps to motivate the students to participate.
So if you get a student in your class who is not very motivated, and many kids are like that,
so in it happens.
Yeah. So what are some of the techniques you use, or how do you really get them motivated?
I start talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
I start using my observation skills. I observe why that student is not motivated. Is it its language barriers? Is it that student is shy? I start observing the student for a couple of times. And after my observation, I try to again go back and check if I can help a student through my personal connections, which I make in terms of talking about myself first. Like, I was in high school, I did this, I did that. And once I make that emotional connection with that student, I see a lot of students, they want to work for you now. I see that they help you, they try to bring on their grades because they want to be closer to the system where you're teaching as a teacher and as a doctor. Like, as a doctor, they call me Dr. M.
Mm-hmm.
And when I am called as Dr. M, they want to be called as Dr. A, Dr. B, Dr. C, Dr. D. So I feel like one should be emotionally and connect with students. It's not about teaching is using the resources. I always try to connect with people and connect with students through my talks.
Now let's move to your community connections. I think you have been very much involved in the town of Lexington, which has one of the largest population of Indian Americans actually. So how did you get involved in the community and what you do there? You are involved with different organizations too there.
So I was part of the Bowman Creek team. I started as a group parent. My journey started from school system. My kids moved into Lexington. I was a Lexington resident, I think, in 2012. And I thought that we need a community where people can connect with each other, talk to each other. So I started making a Bowman parents group. I remember I did that so that there's a place where parents can talk, parents can participate with each other and discussing certain things which they cannot ask in classroom. And that's how we built the Bowman group. And then I started thinking about making it for other schools. We made a Lex family group. Once that community was connected, I found like people were using the resources so well, and they were helping each other, supporting each other, talking to each other. I think one of the main parameter of human connection is having a place where people can talk, people can meet. And I started building it further by creating some sub-community groups. I started the share and giveaway where you are just using that place to help each other by sharing some stuff which you're not using or you're just giving it away. And then there was Lex Women Group, Lex Delight, Lex Travel. We started pickleball last year. We started cricket. So everything in the community came together because I saw through community connection.
So roughly how many families or people are involved in if you put all these?
So there are 600 families because the limitation is that you can only have one member per family.
Mm-hmm.
So there are around 1,200 people who are using that group today in terms of the connections they're making through different platforms like the 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. And I have a Lex Women group which has 250, I think, members now.
Now, you are also involved with VisionAid as well, right? So tell us about your role there and how you help them.
So VisionAid is very close to me because when I started working for community at that time, I knew that Revati and Rama were working with visually impaired people. And I was in India helping a school where there were some blind students. So I always felt that as an educator, as a researcher, I should try to help. And I couldn't find a way. And Revati guided me that through the workshops, through different platforms of VisionAid, I can support these students. And then I started getting involved in the VisionAid spoken English program. And there I got connected to one student who was going to college. He was studying, and seeing his perseverance, seeing his disciplined lifestyle, I started feeling like, if this student gets employed, he will get a job and his family will be supported too. So we should connect more. And I involved my daughter next year. And next year, my daughter was connected to one of the students, and she used to feel so happy that a teenager is talking to her and she has an accent. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we should not limit ourselves from that thought process that we cannot reach them. There are so many ways we can reach people in India, students in India, through these platforms like VisionAid and ACL and other opportunities.
So there are many such organizations here based out of Massachusetts itself, right? So what really motivates you for these type of services?
My parents, my teachers, my parents have always taught me to see happiness in giving. And my mom used to take me to satsang. So whenever I used to go to satsang, I used to see the concept of seva. And in seva, there was so much of fulfillment because people were serving strangers. They were not aware about your background. They were just cleaning shoes sometimes, offering food. They were giving everything what...
And your parents are in India?
In India.
Where in India?
In New Delhi.
In New Delhi. You were from New Delhi?
Yeah. So now they've settled in Mumbai, but they were in New Delhi for very long.
Yeah. And so you grew up basically in New Delhi?
Yes.
And
so all my education, my school, my college, everything is from Delhi, till AIIMS.
How often you visit India?
So
when was the last time you went to India?
I just went for my 50th birthday.
Okay. Now everybody knows your age now, right?
I know. It's right.
You picked up there one book of Robin Sharma was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Yeah.
So what you like in that book and what you learned from that?
It's a very interesting book. And I actually connect with it because Justin Mental, if I remember the name correctly, he gave away his luxurious life. Even he gave away his Ferrari. And he went to Himalayas. And he realized that the concept of living is finding a purpose, finding your passion, and living a disciplined life. And discipline means in terms of self-improvements, the Kaizen techniques, which I use sometimes. It's a Japanese technique where you try to improve yourself slowly. You try to give back. So he in that book taught John, his student, that how he's feeling.
And there's the two characters in the book.
Yeah, so it was enlightenment for me also to understand that how disciplining your mind, finding a purpose, finding passion in whatever you're doing is making so much difference in your health, in your peace, in your mind, in your daily routine. And the quote I mentioned in my write-up was about Pablo Picasso, about the finding the real purpose, the gift, the real meaning of life is to finding the gift, and the purpose of life is to give that gift away. So I enjoy my life because whenever I see the growth around me, whether it is my students, my friends, my community members, I see them talking, I see them smiling, I see them that they are helping each other, I feel like this is creating joy in whatever you're doing. And I learned from that book.
Excellent. Yeah, I have read that book also a couple of times.
Yeah, and so the materialistic things, the happiness you get is just an illusion. It is just the seva, the way of giving, how you are spending your time in finding a purpose. I think that's the real way of finding happiness.
Now, when you were not volunteering or not teaching, what else you do for fun?
Actually, I do a lot of things.
Okay, let's go one by one.
So I write poetry, and I wrote one of my poetry in the blog also. So
Can you recite one or two lines if you remember any one you have done?
So togetherness is the key, is one of the poetry I mentioned there. From colors of dresses to colors in diversity, from colors of food to colors of henna, togetherness is the key. Whether it's Dashera, Karwa Chauth, Christmas or Diwali, whether it's Hanukkah, Thanksgiving or Navratri, whether it is Eid ul-Fitr or Eid ul-Duha, togetherness is the key. Festivals are not only about beliefs. Festivals are not only about stories. It is that togetherness is the key. Togetherness only makes a rainbow beautiful. Togetherness in the words makes a poetry beautiful. Togetherness is the key. Togetherness is the key.
Tell us about the person you would like to meet.
So I wanted to meet Mother Teresa. And Mother Teresa is one of my favorite because she showed the path of clarity in her thinking. She showed how that there's joy in service, the seva. And she was working with leprosy patients without any fear, which means that in giving, you should not think like who is rich, who is poor, who is suffering. You should just be doing your service like God is doing things for everyone around us. He's not looking at anybody who is poor, who is rich. He's giving everything to everyone who's in need. So Mother Teresa is one person who is showing us a path of selfless service. Mother Teresa also showed us how to find joy in small little things. Even she's dressed up simply. She's living a simplistic life. And the real happiness is when you are living while giving.
So now you raise a very important question about happiness. And I'm a big reader. I read a lot about trying to figure it out what the hell this happiness is. Everybody talks about it. Have you, what is your definition of happiness, and how do you try to take yourself to the happiness peak?
I think the community service is one of the things that I find happiness. Like you were asking me about my things I do other than when I'm not at work. So I find happiness in making community connections. And when we made a pickleball group, I found happiness in meeting at 5 a.m. We have a 6 a.m. club. I find happiness in sunrises. We have a group where we play cricket with women. I find happiness in that. Walking with friends, even if one or two can join, finding way of community cooking, and finding happiness when people are being appreciated in a community setting. We sometimes appreciate your dress. I find happiness is in seeing other people smiling.
So, Monika, you were talking earlier about your involvement in Lexington community. And tell us about Lex Women's Group.
So this is a very special place where the women, they are around 250 women who connect, and they connect through community cooking, by meeting for a cup of coffee. And this group also provides a platform where they are learning about empowering themselves. So we have different platforms where we are providing them workshops, like how to make them a good investor, like how to make them learn some things about making emotional connections by talking about what is happening in their life. And I sometimes meet for coffee, sometimes we do a walk together and we meet outside. And so these connections have helped us to do Diwali. The first ever free Diwali event we did was because of the volunteering efforts of the Lex Women group. They all came, they helped, and they not only cooked, but they also brought their families, and they danced and they served, and the whole community came together to serve each other. So through the Lex Women group, we are just empowering every woman who is sitting at home and not able to contribute sometimes towards seva or towards volunteering in other organizations because of the time commitment, and honoring the women who are not appreciated. So there is a powerful shloka about women. Yatra naryastu pujyante ramyante tatra devata. Wherever a woman is honored, there the gods also reside. There is prosperity, there is blessing. And I feel that the simplicity of life lies in helping all the women around you, because they're not looking for appreciation, they're not looking for encouragement, but still if we are able to appreciate them, we are being blessed by gods, we are being blessed by all the universal connections, because in them lies the divine. And I've seen so much happiness when I see a woman happy in our Lex Women group, because some of them are really going through so much of emotional, social trauma that they cannot express it. But when they are laughing and rejoicing in our group setting, we feel connected, that we have really made a difference in the life of someone who is going through an emotional disturbance.
What do you think is current state of women in terms of professionalism, in terms of respect, in terms of empowerment, women in India as well as in the US?
So I think that the situation is changing in India. I was in Mumbai and I saw that the There are a lot of workforce is women there, and I find that they find a joy now in doing jobs. They are empowered. They know that they are supporting their own families. The relationships are much more healthier because they are able to find the peace and joy in their jobs now. And I feel that in US, still we need to find an infrastructure where we can support the women, because most of the women in US are not only working in their jobs but coming back home, giving back to their families, but they're not finding any support system like cooking or any maids, and they all have to, we have to empower women in a way that we are able to tell them to find time for themselves too. We have to tell them that self-care is as important as giving time to their family and giving time to others, because they're draining emotionally, and then that is reflecting on their health. So I feel that being in US, the woman is not getting as much help as they're getting in India. So we need to create support system like Lex Women, where we make them laugh, we make them feel connected and appreciated, because they need some kind of support system around them to go back and fill their cup. So if you have a cup which is you have put upside down, you cannot fill it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that chai,
Mm-hmm.
that cup of chai, and then you go and serve others. So the meaning of happiness for me is giving. I always say that as a human, when you are living, the joy and happiness is in giving.